said, "O earth, you shall not receive my body." So the earth will not receive any of our body. And I said, "Affliction shall not rise again in December." December 1998 was a very bad, terrible Christmas and December for my family. I was hit by a hit-and-run car with my younger sister. She was barely a year. She was 11 months. She passed away 2 hours later. That was 37 years ago on the 12th of December. My name is Mrs. Helen Tutam from Australia, Victoria. I've come to return all the glory to God for saving my son from a road accident and also from a fire from my house. It was in December 8th, 2025. I was still at work, and my son called me and said, "Mom, I'm going home." That is what he normally do because he just got his license. So he calls me before he leaves and calls me when he gets home. And that day, 10 minutes, I know it took him about 18 minutes to get home. About 15 minutes, he called me back again and said, "Mom, I had an accident with an ambulance." The first thing, if it's before, I will panic. But then I said, "God," I said, "O earth, you shall not receive my body." So the earth will not receive any of our body. And I said, "Affliction shall not rise again in December." December 1998 was a very bad, terrible Christmas and December for my family. I was hit by a hit-and-run car with my younger sister. She was barely a year. She was 11 months. She passed away 2 hours later. That was 37 years ago on the 12th of December. I said, "Devil, you're coming again." I said, "No." I said, "You made a mistake. I know where I belong. I belong to the altar of fire. I belong where things turn around, where afflictions don't rise a second time. That is the home where I belong." And when he told me, I was so calm. I said, "God, take control." Then after some minutes, he called me back again. I said, "Mom, the ambulance gave me all the clear." And I said, "Who did you have the accident with?" He said, "Mom, you can't believe it. The other man was so calm. His car somersaulted 5 times. He came out of the car, no scratch, no broken bone. Only God can do it. No man can do it. My son is 6'7". He said he jumped out of the car. He didn't know how he came out, but only God. And my mechanic, I took him before Christmas to see that car. 2 days later, he saw me. He said, "How did your son get out of that car and the other driver?" Nothing. He said, "I have been a mechanic for 25 plus years. I have never seen something like that nobody injured." And I look, I said, "Only God can do it." He said, "There's somebody looking after him." I said, "Yes, surely there's somebody. If I'm not in the altar of fire, my mom belongs there. My brother that introduced me, Kevin, bless you, is in the altar of fire. So there is somebody representing my family every day in the altar of fire." That happened. Then January 9th, exactly 1 month and 1 day. On Fridays, I normally goes out with my friend to our local club after work. That Friday was 44 degrees with high wind. And I look at it, I say, "It's too hot." I started feeling lazy. I got ready, started feeling lazy and relaxed. Not even 20 minutes, I started hearing crackling sound. I asked my husband, "What is happening?" I just finished NSPPD. I said, "What is happening?" He says, "Oh, they said we are having storm today." I said, "Okay, let me go pick my pistachio nut that I left outside." Walk out of the door, lo and behold, there was a fire in front of my door. How the fire started, I don't know. There was no fire around. How that fire started. If I have left home that day, my house would have burned down. So I have come to give back all the glory to God. I wanted to do this testimony video, but I said, no, I have to be here. And luckily, my mom turned 80, so we are celebrating. My mom's 80th birthday, and I'm giving this testimony because nothing missing, nothing breaking. Only God can do it. Roy, I did it. I said, receive all the glory, all the honor, all adoration. And thank you to Pastor Jerry. I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I'm very lazy to pray, but every day he's on the altar of fire representing us. May his strength never waver. May his children, as he's raising armies all over the world, let them take over the heavens, because it is our time and our turn. And Pastor Jerry, your household will never suffer loss. They will not see shame. Your children shall excel in everything they do. They shall be blessed to their 4th and 10th generation in Jesus' mighty name.
NSPPD, celebrate our God.